Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. It's great to be here again with you this week. It's been a very, very, very eventful couple of weeks in the Prime Real Estate Network family. I want to urge all of our audience, followers, friends, and family to go to our new YouTube channel. You can search for it at the Prime Real Estate Network. Please subscribe as we upload new episodes weekly. You'll get those directly to your smartphone, your iPad, or even your smart television. So I want to urge all of our audience members to subscribe to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. As always, I'm here with my co-host, the Texas Real Estate King, and I want to turn it over to him now.
Yes, guys, as Rick said, this is your man, Larry W. Brooks, the Texas Real Estate King. I'm excited to be in front of you. As always, coming in, having an opportunity to bring in great guests that are going to drop gems and nuggets to not only help you build where you are right now, but as you continue to grow in your future, in your careers, or even if you're a young person listening is trying to figure out if real estate is something that you want to be a part of. A lot of times we hear people speak and ask about real estate, but they're thinking more or less from the investment point of view. Well, we want to actually even talk about some of the retail part of it as a realtor or as coming from another area, insurance, mortgage, and all of those different parts of it. So thank you guys for tuning in again. You can always find me on every social media platform at Texas Real Estate King. Again, that's at Texas Real Estate King. My website is Larry W. Brooks. And of course, share. Go in and give us a rating of 5 now. But go in and give us a rating. We want to make this thing grow. We want it to be a big part of everything going on. And of course, if you ever need myself, you ever need Rick, or any of our guests, you have any questions, make sure you send those in. You can DM us. You can go to those sites that we just posted and send that information in. So, Rick, I had an awesome week, man. I ended up going down to Atlanta for the National Association of Real Estate Brokers event. So we were down there. Yeah, and so we celebrated 50 years of fair housing,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's one of those things because, at one point, as Black or African Americans, we were not allowed to sell real estate to other races, right? So we had to create our organization that allowed us to do business with our own people. And so we've been around for over 71 years, one of the oldest trade organization. And so it was exciting. I go every year. I always learn a lot. And, it was just amazing watching the fair housing we celebrated 50 years of fair housing down there.
Now, of course, I follow you on social media, so I had the opportunity to see some of the pictures that you took from the conference and while you were in Atlanta. But for our audience, could you speak towards some of the groundbreaking trendsetters that you had an opportunity to network with while you were in Atlanta?
Yeah, the thing about, and for those of you that have had an opportunity to follow me, follow my career, you know that I always believe in you got to put back into self, right? You have to find ways to continue to educate yourself, continue to grow your business. And one of the things that you do when you go to conferences, there are things that are taking place in other areas of the country, California, Nebraska, and you have all these people that are in a melting pot of one place, and you're just going out to lunch, you're going to conferences, and you're really sharing that information. So it's things and nuggets that I picked up that I'm going to be bringing back and implementing into to my company and some of the ways that I do business. Right now, I'm not telling, though.
That's outstanding. Now, Larry, we have a absolutely stunning guest with us this week. The thing that I take pride in as being a part of this podcast and working alongside yourself is that I've really been getting a lot of positive feedback on our guests and the type of information that they've been able to put out there for our audience.
That's right.
And today is this our guest today will be second to none. I think it's super important with our platform that we help people meet those professionals that can help them build a legacy.
I agree. Yes, sir.
That can help them take their planning for their financial future and their family's future to that next level.
Oh, yeah.
So, Larry, I want to please allow you to introduce our guest today.
I don't remember us talking about it like that. I'm sorry, but hey, I have an opportunity to, and I'm sorry, I'm sharing two platforms. I have a special guest that I've had an opportunity to just meet face to face the first time today. And so those of you in the listening world, is one thing about social media that I love. You actually have an opportunity to follow great people and really appreciate the things that they're building. So with Peak Legacy, I would like to introduce you my new friend, my growing business partner in the future, Miss Patricia
Creswell.
In
the building today. Hey guys, what's up? It's Peak Legacy. Thank you so much for having me. Like, I'm just honored to be here finally. Yeah, so we definitely have so much to talk about today. I want to be able to share as much as I can with your listeners.
That's right.
They are active. Your listeners actually get involved. So we got some stuff we need to get people moving on.
Yeah, and the awesome thing about it is as I've watched you grow in your umbrella of business that you do, when I mentioned to Rick, I said I need to have her on. The things that she's doing, the things that she's speaking about, are the things that our people need to be a part of. They need to know how to take the next step into actually understanding even insurance in themselves. So as we talk about it, I guess give us a little bit of insight on what your day-to-day looks like when it comes to what you do and what it is that the people need to know about you right now.
Okay, well, I am a legacy builder. And basically, I just talk to people about how we can actually come together and utilize our resources to take us to the next level. We have often gotten information that hasn't been complete.
Yeah.
And so here I am piecing together those gaps.
That's right.
And putting us together so that we can elevate, because we've talked about it enough. Now it's time to take it to the next level.
Wow, it's super interesting. My question is, for your advice for people in our audience, is there ever an age that is too young to get started thinking along and setting yourself up on a path that could lead you and your family to something that you never really dreamed about? Because me and Larry, we talk about this a lot, is that a lot of times when you're younger, you don't always have adults that can illustrate these points in a way that makes sense for that younger generation and a younger audience. Because I personally have 5 younger brothers. And since the time that they were in their early teens, I've always tried to speak to them about some of these advanced concepts. So I'm thinking about things from a future perspective, compounding interest, putting things away.
Right.
What have you learned in your experience that you use to invigorate and light that spark? Inspire that younger generation.
Yes, that's the
I
word
like it.
right
I see
there.
the energy come out of you when
I'm
you say
telling
it.
you. Okay, so my young people,
Please.
they are the future of our lives.
I agree.
I'm getting old. We getting old. We have to rely on them to make the right choices.
That's right.
So I spend a lot of time on social media hitting up those platforms where I know young people like to congregate. They get majority of their information there. I make the information palatable.
Yeah.
Like I don't use those terms that the veterans like to use.
The ones that scare them off where they want to read what you're putting out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like we shy away from that. You might hear a little Beyonce in the background. Okay. But all in all, I try to appeal to our youth because the time is now.
Right.
There is no dedicated, when I'm 40, that's when I'll start planning. No, you start planning now.
Wow.
Because let me tell you how we've been living for the last 10 years or so. We've been so volatile. There's so much going on in the world right now that we can't even project or at least premeditate what could be going on next. You can walk out and anything can happen.
Right.
So we prepare for that today. Yeah.
Good.
No, and I have another question, and because your own friends and family, the people that are in your inner circle.
Right.
And you having so much knowledge, I know that those closest to you are the people that you try to influence the most.
Right.
For your own friends, family, children, what have you found has been something that has caused them to be the most inspired with your own friends and family? How do you get the people closest to you? Because I can only speak from a personal perspective.
Right.
We have a platform now that's building. I want to thank everyone in the audience for subscribing and tuning in and being a member of this community. But as our platform grows, I have people that reach out to me via email, through direct messaging. But with your own friends and family and those in your inner circle, it seems like sometimes the message can be lost.
Right. Right.
So how do you appeal to those in your inner circle?
Well, it's funny you should say that because, you know, with my social media stuff, I'm actually from California. So
Okay.
I spent West side in the building. What's up?
Come on.
So, you know, I spent a lot of time trying to reach out to my family on the West Coast. And so they've been watching me consistently, and they've been reaching out to me saying, "Hey, Patricia, we love what you're doing. We're proud of you. We're excited." And, you know, they didn't know me to be an insurance person in the past, you know.
Oh, okay.
But now that they're seeing how passionate I am about what I'm doing, they all want to get involved.
I don't blame.
See, that's the thing. Love
Love.
is the answer.
Yeah.
Now, at the risk of being invasive, we have a great audience of teenage women, young adults, those that are embarking upon their professional careers, who look at a woman like yourself as an inspiration.
Right.
And I want to take some time when we come back from our break to go into your background,
Oh.
if that's okay,
Sure.
as far as some of your influences, mentors, inspirations. So I'll try not to get too deep into your business, but when we come back from the break, I hope that you could share some of those tidbits about your past with our audience, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So please stay with us. We have a short break from our sponsor, and we will return soon. Thank you. Welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network. I'm your host, Rick Davis. You can follow me on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. I'm here today with my co-host, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, and from Peak Legacy, Miss Patricia Creswell. Before we went to break, Patricia, I asked if you could share a little bit about your background, upbringing, inspirations, because as a professional and as an entrepreneur, you are a symbol of progress, where the women in this country, where we're going,
Right.
the empowerment of young girls as well. So please, let's talk about how you got started and who actually inspired you to be an entrepreneur.
Wow. Okay. That's going to be real deep here. So my grandmother is the one who raised me.
Okay.
She raised me in a beautiful city called Vallejo, California. And my grandmother was an entrepreneur. She actually had a residential care facility. We catered to the community of people who had mental disabilities and more. And they lived with us. They were my brothers and sisters, basically. So, you know, I learned how to, you know, structure a business, how to be passionate about what you do, love what you do, how to feed into people, and actually get really good results.
When you were younger, did you know that this was your grandmother's business, or was this more of like her labor of love, what she did for a living? Did you actually understand what you were experiencing, because there's a lot of young girls that I believe if they were in a atmosphere where there were other women building businesses, building legacies,
Right.
they would set that as more of a goal for themselves. So I guess my question is, do you think you made it to where you are now because that you were able to study those entrepreneurial steps of your grandmother?
Right.
Or do you think the environment just fostered that entrepreneurial spirit in you?
Right. Well, Rick, it definitely inspired me. She kept me involved in all areas of the business.
Oh, that's outstanding.
I was making deposits when I was 6 years old. I was calculating, and I was the banker, and we did meal planning, all that stuff I was involved in hands-on. So,
that's great.
It really did give me a passion for people, and it helped me understand, the importance of laboring with that love.
Right.
It just doesn't become work when you do it like that. And that's what this insurance stuff is for me.
Now, it's interesting because Larry can speak to this as well, is that especially as an entrepreneur, your platform, as you continue to grow and evolve, is going to only get larger.
Right.
So are there any particular entrepreneurial tips or advice that you want to give to the young ladies out there that's hearing us, just as far as getting started?
Right.
The initial mindset that you need to have.
Well, before answering that, how did you get into insurance?
Well, okay. Let's do that. So my background, I was in the beauty industry, actually.
Okay.
Beauty industry for about 15 years or more. And I spent a lot of time with my pageant girls and all my, beauty queens. And I decided that, instead of focusing on the exterior person and making them beautiful, I want to make people's lives beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where the financial industry came in for me. Then New York Life approached me. It was like when you send out these messages, God hears you.
Law of attraction.
And then
Law
he
of
starts
attraction.
sending people to you. And New York Life came to me and they recruited me. And I was like, oh, okay. This is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And this is going to be my vehicle to move. I've always been an activist. I'm not going to tell you about when I got arrested. But I've always been an activist where I fought for the people.
Yeah.
And this actually panned out to be one of my greatest feats right here.
Good. Okay.
So, to your question,
Yes, please.
you were saying, say it again.
What can you use as advice to young ladies
Yeah.
as far as that initial step?
Right. Be fearless.
Be fearless.
Be brave. I actually still have to overcome a lot of fears, especially now that people are hitting me up from everywhere. Like, can you come here? Can you speak here? Can you share this with me? And I'm like, whoa, am I the expert now? But
you are, and I want you to never undervalue
right.
what you bring and the services you provide.
Right.
It's a lot of times, that, especially with our guests, and this is a lot sometimes off camera before the show starts, we like to discuss how, as an expert and a professional,
Right.
you're a symbol
Right.
of what the young people can aspire to become.
Exactly.
Now, from a speaking engagement standpoint, I'm sure the audience would like to know, what are your upcoming speaking engagements? Where can people interact with you personally, get a chance to meet you, take pictures, shake your
Right.
hand?
All that fun stuff.
All that fun stuff.
So, so I'll be in Arlington, August the 11th. That's 2 days before my birthday. So if you guys want to send me something, let me know.
8/13.
Yeah, Leo in the building. So basically, the conference is called, and please excuse this French, it's WTF, happened after 30. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, I know you guys didn't think that I was 30, but yeah, I'm hitting 40. So definitely want to come out and see that conference. We got a host of beautiful women that are going to be talking about how we can be leaders in our industries and how we can be powerful. And we want to enrich you in that way. So that's Arlington, August the 11th. It's going to be at UT Arlington at the Blue Bonnet Ballroom. Check out all of my social media stuff so you can find out exactly where it is, because I'll be posting it like crazy.
Good. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's funny. Now, to our audience, at the risk of being entirely too candid about our production process here at the Prime Real Estate Network, I had a chance to speak with Ms. Creswell before we started taping about some of the things that she runs into when she meets people publicly, as far as questions that they have, some of the things that they ask her that absolutely makes no sense versus what is actually fact when it comes to her industry. So when we come back from our break, we'll have our Prime Real Estate Network Fact of the Week with Mr. Larry Brooks and Ms. Patricia Creswell. So please stay tuned, and we'll get back to that after the break. Thank you.
Welcome back. So this is that moment when we talk about facts versus myths and things of that matter. And so, I always at the end of every show, I like an opportunity just to get on the same page with you guys and just kind of bust some of those myths that you might have heard. So, Patricia, one of the things that we hear or we come in contact with all the time is people feeling like you only need insurance when you're dead. What are your thoughts on it? Because I know a lot of times we get these fish fry parties going on when people pass away, or what's the other thing, Rick, that people use?
Car washes
and
GoFundMe accounts.
Let me tell y'all something right now. I love y'all. Do not send me another GoFundMe if someone passes away. At the end of this show today, you need to know that that's not right. So, Patricia, what is it when you think about those type of myths? So what is it? What are your feelings on? Do you just need insurance when you're dead, or how does that look?
Right. Okay, Larry. So basically, people think that, this money is only supposed to be utilized when you're in your passing.
Mm-hmm.
The misconception was back in the 80s when they were selling policies to the coloreds, they were selling them on a term basis.
Mm-hmm.
And those terms were 10 or 20 years. Well, Black people live longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we outlived the term, and therefore that policy had no value, but this company just banked on us. So basically the whole life policies are the ones that are at a savings value to it, to where you can put your daughter through college,
Mm-hmm.
where you can retire from it, where if you get ill, you can go stay at a retirement home, or, invest in whatever your heart desires.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole life policies are what we are absolutely needing to be a part of.
Okay.
Do you ever run into people who feel as if purchasing life insurance will some way cause them to die sooner? And the only reason I bring that up is because I've had a client that it's funny, we were doing a real estate deal, and I asked them about their insurance coverages, that type of thing, and they was like, oh yeah, everything I have is covered. I just won't get life insurance though. And I was like, well, could you explain to me why? Because as soon as I get life insurance, I'm gonna die.
Somebody want to kill you.
And it's super funny. And as a professional, could you please explain what happens if a family member dies and they don't have insurance?
Right.
Because that's the thing that we want everyone to avoid.
Well, I mean, we all see it online all the time. Either we got a fish fry going on, like we just said, or you got a car wash going on, or you got to do a GoFundMe. Like, to me, that is like poor planning.
Yeah.
When we already know what we need to prepare us for this time that is coming. It's evident that it's coming.
Yeah.
So prepare yourself so that you don't have to put your children through that or your wife through that. Another thing in terms of real estate is concerned, if you purchase a home, you better purchase a life insurance policy that is comparable to the same price
The value
of your home.
Yeah.
Because if something happens to you and you got to leave this burden on your family, your wife, to try to figure out how to piece it together, you want your family to be out on the street?
Yeah.
No, but Ms.
Well,
Patricia,
not only that though, but I agree with it. So with my 17 years worth of experience, I've seen everything
Right.
when it comes to real estate and just like family backgrounds. And so I've seen some families that tragedies happen. It's accidentally just happen.
Right.
And so when these tragedies actually take place, if you have a good life insurance and policy, it allows you to have a good bereavement, right? You don't have to worry about the financial aspects because you can bury them. And then it usually, if you get the right type of policy, it gives you a little bit of something that can change your generational life, right? You can get that money, start a business that you may have dreamed about.
Right.
And so it's not a bad thing, right?
Absolutely.
And it's not this, we never wish it on folks, but accidents happen, right? Or death comes. Like what they say, there's two things for sure: taxes and death.
Absolutely, it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that is a very good point that you made. And so we have to really start focusing on that because the bottom line is generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And we can utilize these life insurance products to get us to that point. Home ownership as well, and NARAB promotes generational wealth. I'm actually a member as well.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time talking about this word, but we have to really get to the bottom of it. Generational wealth. Generation is 30 years. So that means 30 years equals one generation.
Mm-hmm.
In order to build a legacy, you need 3 generations.
Right.
That's 90 years.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't even been absolutely financially free since
doubt about
for
it.
90 years.
That's right.
So we
1964 was when they allowed
We have to
us.
put our
Yeah.
investments
Right.
in overdrive to
Oh,
make
yeah.
up from starting behind.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, we can't speed up the process, but we can get started.
Absolutely.
And there we had some setbacks, but all in all, don't look down upon where we are, our current state,
I agree.
because we just got in the game.
Yeah,
I understand.
I agree.
So
This has been, I could keep you here all day, but I want to make sure before we end this episode, could you please, for our audience, remind them of how they can follow you on social media?
right.
And also, just one more time for people who might not have been watching us for the entire duration of the episode, your next speaking engagement that you spoke about earlier, please.
Right. So, okay, find me on Instagram. It's at Trisha, that's TRISHA 1380. You can also find me on Facebook under Patricia Creswell. Also, I'm going to be speaking August the 11th. That's 2 days before my birthday. I'm going to keep saying that because, so 2 days before my birthday, August the 11th, we are going to be at UT Arlington speaking at a conference called What the F Happened After 30. Yeah. It's kind of quirky, but guess what? It's going to appeal to a lot of our women. We have so many platforms that we have full control over, and we need to be powerful and we need to be inspired in all that we are required to do. So come out and see me, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Mr. Brooks, are there any events?
So I will be next week. I will be in New Orleans for another conference. But while I'm down there, I'll actually be hosting a small speaking engagement myself and Darren Palmer with 30 days self-published in 30 days. And so we're going to be talking about the authoring process. So if you're in the New Orleans area, you want to come out. That's going to be August. I want to say about August 10th is the date that we actually have. But of course, I'll share that in the podcast notes. But if you're out there, you want to reach out to me, again, my website is larrywbrooks.com. You can also reach me and DM me on any social media platform at Texas Real Estate King. So, hey, I'm excited, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Once again, I'm Rick Davis. You can follow me on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. And I want to urge everyone in our audience, if you would like to listen to the audio version of the podcast and you're an iPhone user, please go to iTunes, the Prime Real Estate Network, and subscribe. If you're an Android user, we're also on Google Play at the Prime Real Estate Network. If you would like to see our past episodes from a visual standpoint, you can subscribe to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. So until next week, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone in our audience. Be safe and stay blessed.
Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.